Plants grow individually when a piece of parent plant is cut from the existing plants. Good morning everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the reproduction and development of the angiosperms. The capacity to reproduce the one of the most important characteristics of the living beings, that is both in plants and animals. In certain other cases of the plants, special mode of reproduction such as parthenogenesis, sporadic budding and polyembryony and also found. In subsequent paragraphs you will study various methods of reproduction involved in flowering plants, angiosperms. Mode of reproduction in angiosperms. In angiosperms or flowering plants, there are several modes of reproduction. Generally, they are arranged in two large groups: reproduction, asexual or vegetative or sexual types. In asexual or vegetative reproduction, the offsprings are produced from the somatic cells, while in sexual reproduction, there is a fusion of male and female gametes. In case of vegetative reproduction, any part of the plant, that is stem, root, or leaf, is capable of growing into a new plant in addition to performing the sexual function. Sometimes in certain plants, birds, and bulbils are developed, which develop into a new plants. In some plants, settle special mode of reproduction are found, which are commonly known as parthenogenesis, sporophytic budding, polyembryony, apomixis, apospory, apogamy, and micropropagation. The production of synthesis and artificial seeds are also possible through the tissue culture. Vegetative reproduction. Vegetative propagation, any part of the plant, that is stem, root, leaf, even birds are capable to give rise to new plant. The most striking example such reproductive capacity seen in the leaves of bryophyllum. Like other leaves, they too carry on the photosynthesis, their usual function, but in addition, they have kept the capacity to produce one or more plants from the notches in their margins. If one keeps a leaf of biofilm on damp soil, within a day or two, the birds appear in the notches of the margin of leaves. The birds would later form a few plants complete with roots and leaves and stem. More often, the capacity of the vegetative propagation resides in roots, example in sweet potato. Asparagus and dahlia are stems, example in ginger, turmeric, banana, potato, onion, sugarcane, and canna. In all these cases, plant spots possess the power of regeneration, which means that a part of the plant can either replace its lost portion or bring forth in a new adult plant. The capacity of the regeneration is quite common in most higher plants and has been put to great use by mankind since time immemorial. Thus, the rose, coleus, pothos, gloria of garden, bougainvillea are generally propagated by the placing the stem cuttings in moist soil. The cuttings soon strike roots and grow into a new plants. Cutting, grafting, layering generally refers to as a artificial method of vegetative propagation. The resulting of the offspring are normally identical and resemble the parent forms in almost in all respects. Gardeners generally use these methods for getting the plants of same types. The method of reproduction may be grouped in two categories: natural method and artificial method. The method of reproduction may be grouped into two categories, that is, firstly, natural methods and secondly, artificial method. Natural method, in such methods, vegetative propagation, a portion of the plant gets detached from the mother plant and develops into new independent plant under suitable environmental condition, the detached parts may be root, stems, leaves, or flowers. Most striking examples, such as reproductive capacity, is seen in the leaves of the bryophyllum. Like other leaves, they too carry the photosynthesis, their usual function. But in addition, they have capacity to reproduce the one or more plants from the notches of their margins. If one keeps a leaf of the bryophyllum on damp soil, within a day or two birds appear in the edges of the margin of leaves. These birds would be later form new plants and as well as complete with roots and leaves and stem. More often, the capacity of the vegetative propagation resides in roots in sweet potato, asparagus, and dahlia are stems. Example in ginger, turmeric, banana, potato, onion, and jamaican sugarcane. And kanna. In all these cases, plant pots possess the power of regeneration, which means that a pot of the plant can either replace its lost pots or bring forth a new advent plant. The stem of the plants with the subaerial modification, as in pistia, chrysanthemum, iconia, and pineapple, are also used for propagating plants. In such plants as agave, diascorea, and oxalis, small buds develop near the flower, leaf axil, and tuberous roots respectively to give rise to new plants. The capacity of the regeneration is quite common in most higher plants. In Vallisneria, a submerged water plant, vegetative propagation takes place by means of stolen artificial methods. The capacity of regeneration of higher plants has been put to great use by the mankind since time immemorial. Thus, rose, coleus, pothos, croton, topico, and China rose and glory of garden bougainvillea are generally propagated by the placing the stem cuttings in moist soil. The cuttings soon strike roots and grow into new plants. The procedure considerably reduces the time required to obtain a mature plant. In certain other plants, such as lemon, tamarind, etc., the root cuttings used for vegetative propagation. As the process of vegetative propagation involves in the simple cell division, the quality of the parent plant are faithfully reproduced in the offsprings. Some very useful plants like banana and certain varieties of oranges are sterile. They do not produce any seeds. Propagation by setting is the only method of attaining more of these plants. Plants grow individually when a piece of parent plant having a bud is cut from the existing plants. Lower part of the cutting is buried in the moist soil. After a few days, the cut pods having a buds and growing individual pods after developing the roots. Rose is a best example for this. We all know about the rose, no? Vegetative propagation. In higher plants, vegetative propagation may be natural or artificial. Aerial weak stems like runners, stolons, when they touch the ground, they give off the advantageous roots. When the connection with the parent plant is broken, the stem portion with the advantageous roots develop into an independent plant. Some examples for the propagation by stem from the stolen bulbs, cones, tubers, etc. Stolons, Vallisneria, strawberry bulbs, Allium cepa or onion, or combs or colocasia tuber potato. Jasmine also we can propagate through the vegetative branches, because jasmine also can develop the through the vegetative propagation as a individual plants. At least a part of the branch having a node bent toward the soil, it grows again. In bryophyllum, the edges of the plants, in bryophyllum, small plants grow at the edges of the leaves. These leaves are touch the soil. This is the one of the most common methods used for propagating the plant, such as rose, jasmine, grape, vine, lemon, and rhododendron and magnolias. Layering is the development of the roots on stem while it is still attached to the parent plant. The stem or branch that develops adventitious roots while still attached to the parent plant is called layer. This is the natural means of reproduction in blackberry, raspberries, and trailing blackberries. Layering can be artificially induced in many plants. It can be induced by bending the branch to the ground and covering a medium portion of it below the soil. A apical portion of the branch left exposing to the air and to form the leaves. The part below the soil develops adventitious roots. Now, the connection of the layered branch can be cut from the parent plant and grown independently.